Alright guys, we are back with our brew day. We are doing the cream ale that was mentioned earlier. So first things first, Jake here is going to go over the brew day schedule. So we're going to start off. You want to go over the brew day schedule and kind of...
Yeah, I'd love to. So today we're doing everything out of the kitchen. So it's going to be using the Brewer's Best, kind of Brewer's Beast kit that we unboxed in a previous video. So today we've got about 2.5 gallons boiling in the kettle, or getting ready to boil. It's going to be a partial boil today, so once that gets going, we're going to add in some liquid malt extract. We'll mix that in. Once that's all mixed up, then we're going to start our hop additions and an hour-long boil.
Yeah, 60 minutes. We're going to add the Willamette. There, 1 ounce of the Willamette hops, and we will put the ingredients in the link below. I'll also post it on the screen here. And then with 20 minutes left in the boil, we have 1 ounce of the Says hops. And if you guys are curious to what one of these brew kits might look like, as you can see right here, just dry malt extract like we mentioned before, and then we got the liquid malt extract. So if I can get this open, it's a little child's play here. But yeah, so something you're going to get in your box here, it's just going to be the dry malt extract. And then we actually have the liquid malt extract as well. So liquid malt extract will be first, and then we'll put the dry malt extract in. And with a partial brew, or a partial boil, one benefit of doing a partial boil is you have less water, yes, but when it comes to boiling on a stovetop, a partial boil is great, because if you can imagine trying to boil 5 gallons of water on a stovetop can be a little difficult. Might take a lot of time, and then as well, your cool down time isn't going to be as long because you're adding that cold water in after your boil, which is going to cool your wort faster and get you in a room temperature quicker, which will allow you to pitch your yeast faster than usual. So that's one benefit of doing a partial boil. So hopefully you guys enjoy waiting for the water to boil right now, and once we get to the right temperature, we will start this brew. Alright, so our water has came to a boil. We are now opening the liquid malt extract. We're going to make sure to stir this fairly quick so it does not scorch on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and start pouring the liquid malt extract. As he pours, I'm going to stir here.
Stir it up.
Make sure we're stirring nice and easy here.
We're going to pour pretty slow,
just so it doesn't scorch on the bottom. And if you want to kill the heat, we have not killed the heat, but if that's something that you want to do, it would not hurt. As you can see, if you're one person, though, it wouldn't hurt to kill the heat, stir in your liquid malt extract, and then start it back up and bring it to a boil.
Now, one thing that I have done is to put the liquid malt extract under hot water for a while, just to make it pour out a little bit easier. It won't stick to the insides of that can if you get a kit that may have been sitting for a while. Just kind of helps make it a little bit easier.
Alright guys, so we have our wort at 212. We actually are going to kill the heat now because sometimes you can get a boil over when adding the hop addition. So we got our first hop addition here of Willamette, I do believe it is. Yep. Yeah, so we're going to put our 1 ounce. Is it 1 ounce? I think it's 1 ounce of Willamette. Yep. So we're going to put this in. We're going to stir kind of vigorously here.
Get that going just so they don't stick to the bottom. Sorry, get that out of your way.
It's going in here. Sometimes when you have it on high heat, it will end up boiling over. I've had it happen before with an all grain brew, and it is not fun. So make sure you kill the heat beforehand to try to avoid that.
We should be safe with it being a partial boil, so it's got about 2 gallons of the top to go, so we should be all right.
So once we get those stirred in there, we can go ahead and bump the heat back up, keep the boil going, and then we will wait the designated time to put our next additions in. Alright, so we have 20 minutes left in the boil, so we have to add our 2 packages of 1 pound dry malt extract, a pound of corn sugar, and then our Saz hops. Saz hops? The IBUs for this beer, I guess I could show this. 16 to 18 IBUs, original gravity. We're trying to hit between 1.049 and 1.053. So, as you can see, we've only got 2.5 gallons. So, yes, we're going to overshoot our gravity quite a bit, but once we add in the cold water, we will be able to hit our original gravity fairly easily. So it's 20 minutes left right now, so we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of these. I'm going to go ahead and get the old spoon ready. So make sure, once again, probably not a bad idea to kill the heat when you're doing this, just so you don't do a boil over. So we're going to kill the heat and then add in our hops, corn sugar, and dry malt extract. So for those of you that may not have a wort chiller, the next best thing is an ice bath to help cool down your wort. Even though it is not as quick as a wort chiller, it does get the job done. They do recommend getting your wort cooled down in at least 45 minutes, so definitely cold water and ice is the way to go when trying to cool down your wort as fast as possible. Alright, so now that our wort has cooled down to room temperature, we're going to pour it into the fermenting bucket. One thing we do want to make sure is we pour this slow, because that trub, or all those little hop particles, has settled to the bottom, so we're going to pour that in really slow. It's okay if we have some splashing in here. The goal is to try to get our beer aerated just a little bit, so the yeast has some oxygen to use to ferment the beer. So we've got the wort in the fermenting bucket. As you can see, this is a 5-gallon batch. We are currently only at 2.5 gallons. We need to add 2.5 more gallons of water to reach our 5 gallons.
Leave the time to boil off at least. Can you see where that is?
Alright, so we've added the water, and now we've got our sample here. We're going to use the hydrometer to get a gravity reading and see where we're at. We should be between 1049 and 1053. I do believe it should say, is it on here? Yep, 1049 and 1053. So this will be the original gravity. We'll check on here. looks like we are right at, we're about 10:47, so we are just a little under, so not terrible. We missed by 2 points, but 10:47, not bad.
Feel that.
And last but not least, we want to sanitize our yeast packet and our scissors. And then we go ahead and sprinkle that right in on the top. Alright, so a quick little bit of aerating, get all that yeast, mix them with the wort. Then we'll throw our sanitized stopper in and wait for the fermentation to start. Fermentation usually takes anywhere from 12 to 36 hours, I believe, or 6 to 36 hours, just depending on the type of yeast you use. So we use the high performance ale yeast. So we will see how long this takes. Alright guys, welcome back. It has been 3 weeks since we have brewed this beer. We are now transferring over to the bottling bucket. As you can see, Jake did end up adding 4 pounds of strawberries to this cream ale, so it's going to give it a nice flavor. Hoping it didn't dry it out too much, but...
Did you say hoping?
Hoping it didn't dry it out too much, but we're going to wait and see. Right now, as we're transferring, we have a little, what do you call this? Strainer in here, so you don't get any of the strawberry particles or any of that other puree he's got in there into our bottling bucket. We also want to make sure that we do not aerate this beer at all, because that can sometimes cause some off flavors. So we're going to continue transferring this over into the bottling bucket, and then after that, it's time to bottle. So real quick tip when you are filling your bottles, usually if you fill your bottles all the way to the top and you pull your wand out, that's just enough headspace for when you cap it and stuff like that. So just a little tip there when you're filling your bottles with a bottling wand.
Great relationship advice as well.
Alright guys, so the much anticipated 6 weeks in the making of this strawberry cream ale. It is finally time to do a little review on it. Unfortunately, Jake cannot be with us here today, and since I helped him brew it, I decided I didn't want to be too biased, so I went ahead and got Mason and Brad to help me. So we're going to go ahead and give our honest review on this beer. I was told that it's a little over-carbonated, so Jake did try it, and he said it was a little over-carbonated. So hopefully when I pop the top on this, it doesn't go all over the table. If it does, well then, I just add to the excitement. Alright, so
A little disappointing.
so far so good. Go ahead. He said when you pour it though, I want to try to really slow pour because, ooh yeah, it is. So that was actually a really slow pour, and it's a little over-carbonated right there, but not too bad. You can see when we filtered it out through the filtering system, we still did get a little bit, so that wasn't as bad. Might just be the first little bit. We did get a little bit of residue kind of in the bottom, so trying not to upset that too much. Brad, you're settle down. We're going to give you a little more. So, right off the bat, this is a cream ale, but he did add, as you guys seen, strawberries to it. So, we're going to go ahead and right off the bat, I can see it's got really good head retention. The color... Oh yeah, if we hold it up in the light, you guys can actually see too. The color is it's got just a hint of red in the color, but actually pretty nice. So as far as nose goes, what do you guys smell? Brad, you can start off with what you smell. Ooh, I know exactly. So everybody's got different palates, so it's gonna be interesting to kind of see what you think as far as like.
I do get that. I do get a hint of strawberry.
So what I'm actually getting I'm getting like overwhelming strawberry on mine. Like really, almost like it almost smells like a juice, like a really strong juice.
Is it me or I mean I don't know about everyone else, but cream ales since it is a strawberry cream ale, I feel like all cream ales have a very distinct taste, and it has that
That kind of smell.
But yeah, you definitely get a strong scent of strawberry,
Yeah.
which obviously typical because it is a strawberry cream ale.
And I think that might be from the fact that he had it setting actually on the strawberry. It was on a strawberry puree. It was on it for 2 weeks. So usually when I put beer with fruit, I usually leave it on for maybe like anywhere from like 4 to 7 days. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this beer worked with being on that for 2 weeks. So if you guys want, we'll go ahead and give it a quick taste.
Ooh, that's good.
So
Very good.
wow, right off the bat, yeah, I get like as soon as it hits like the back of my throat, my tongue, I taste the strawberry
Taste strawberry right away.
right away.
Absolutely.
Um,
I will say we do not know the exact IBU of this, but obviously if you're going to range it,
Yeah.
15, 20, really low.
really low, yeah.
So if you're someone who doesn't like a bitter beer like an IPA, definitely highly recommend this beer. Very smooth start to finish.
Yeah.
And heck, just like you said, head retention. Mine still has a little head
Yeah.
to it. Would you say medium body? I'd definitely say medium body.
I
beer.
honestly think more of a light body. I think it's the strawberries that kind of gives it the that really
Almost has like a haze to it.
a little bit of a haze from the strawberries, and with those home brews, it really is to get a really clear beer. If we're gonna cold crash this beer beforehand, we also did not put a Warflock tablet in, so if we would have done those things, we would have got a lot more of a clear beer here. But I would say a light body, definitely light body beer. I think it was like 4.5% or 4.9%, so lower alcohol. This is something that I would definitely, I would drink this in the summer for sure.
You could drink this all day. It doesn't matter what season it is. This is honestly a darn good beer.
Yeah, and the aftertaste, you're getting that creaminess, a little bit of the strawberries. That first initial taste, though, is definitely strawberry. What I will say, though, and I feel like this is with a lot of homebrew beers, is I feel like it's a bit oxidized, which not really much you can do about that because no matter what, if you're homebrewing and transferring over from secondary or primary fermentation to secondary fermenter, you're going to get some oxidation in there, which is not a big deal. I mean, it's still a really good tasting beer. Yeah, I get a lot of strawberry on that.
So what are some of the other ingredients in?
So this is actually the brewer's best. So yeah, these guys actually weren't with us on the brew day. This is a brewer's best. So this is actually a liquid malt extract and a dry malt extract. So there was no grains used in this. It was once we watch the video, we'll be able to see kind of like the all the ingredients that were used. But yeah, overall, pretty good. And with the overly carbonated, usually the longer a beer sets, this one's been setting for like a little over 2 weeks. The longer it sets, the more that carbonation is going to settle down a little bit. I know the last beer that I brewed, it was extremely carbonated, but the longer it sets, it seems like the more it kind of settles down. Overall, though, I'm going to go ahead and give this beer a rating. And I reviewed my last beer. And I gave it a 6 out of 10. I think I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think this is a very good beer. So what do you think? Beer taste-wise, be honest. Like, if there's anything you don't like about it, like I said, you do taste that off taste just as the aftertaste, and I think it's because it's a little oxidized.
That's really the only complaint. You get that traditional cream ale taste, and with some of these beers, I mean, the fruit isn't forward. You don't really get the real fruit taste.
Yeah.
Like the minute you drink this, you think strawberry.
Exactly.
The smell too. So I would say, I think I'm going to give it an 8 too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, just like everything they said, start to finish, strawberry. That's what I love about it. Very smooth start to finish. Honestly, I like this beer because of the color. The color is, like you said, has a hint of red to it. I love the color of it. So huge shout out to Jack and Jake from All About the Brews. This is actually Jack's first or second time brewing?
This is the second one. Yep. So
Hats off to him and Jake, who's he's brewed 3 or 4 beers. They knocked it out of the park with this. Honestly, I'd definitely have to give 7, 8, 8.5, something like that. It's delicious. So.
And it's still got really good head retention.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
there as
As you can see there.
And two guys, we weren't using the best equipment. This is like I said, the brewer's best kit we got from a local liquor shop. So you can go there or brew shop, I guess I should say. You can get one of those for pretty cheap. So yeah, and we didn't even check the pH. I mean, the pH of the water, I'm assuming, is around 6.9, which is really, really high considering you want to try to have around 5.3, 5.4. But overall, very pleased with this beer. Really glad how it turned out. I think our next step is try to mimic this beer doing an all grain brew. So if you guys like the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Once again, we are all about the brews, and we'll see you next time.